All right, what's up, everybody? This is welcome back to Los Angeles Chronicles. This is episode 9. I got a very special guest with me on this episode, Mr. Gabriel McCoy, or also known as Staxx Gouda, head of the Great One Nation. I mean, like Eclectic Zoo. He's a mastermind. Everybody loves this guy, man. He's a music business manager, and we're just gonna get back into like his background and his story. We got a native Angelino up in here. You know, he's gonna share a story from his humble beginnings, and then how we met at work, in the workplace, and
818 baby, you
and
know,
818, yeah, that's what's up. And we're gonna talk about like some of the artists he's worked with, and kind of like everything from like the past. I've known this guy for like 16 years, so we're just gonna get into it. So hey, thanks so much for being
hey man,
like right now we're in like
honor,
we're in the hood, like we're recording in Silmar at the Thomas Motel. So we got another story. Yeah, like we got like an interesting story about how like we got in here. Like we're paying about like 2 hours to be in here. So
yeah, I don't know what they're thinking at the front desk right now, but
like they got some trips. So like,
you know.
He asked me if I wanted to go to Mexico, and he's looking at me like.
And then what did he say? He said, "Playboy, you gonna fix the TV? You Playboy."
So this motel we're staying in, like it's people rent it by the hour to get busy, you know. So, but this is for the podcast.
We're keeping it hood. Nah.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about is like how we met at the supermarket at work. So do you remember that? So.
I don't remember nothing.
Right.
No, man. Yeah, John's Market.
Who's
Market.
that? Yeah.
All this noise outside.
Yeah, for real. Like, so.
But yeah, man.
Okay, when the first time I met this guy, he was like, maybe he saw my Wu-Tang tattoo or something, but he came up, he's like, "What's up, man? You listen to Fooshnickens?"
That was the first thing I said. Yeah. Fooshnickens.
And I was like, "Hey, this guy's cool, man. Who the hell like listens to that, first of all, anymore?" Like, I mean, if you know Fooshnickens, then you know like real hip hop, because that's some straight up talent right there.
Yeah, that's history. Because then you bought me the CD as a gift twice.
I did.
You bought it for me twice.
Which one? The Don't Take It Personal? No,
I think the first one.
Yeah, they're all good, man. Those guys are like, I put them in like the top 10 easily. Like
True Fooshnick.
Yeah, like
John's Market. That's where we met a lot of our people.
Yeah, and Jason, and I mean, yeah, the list goes on. So yeah, a lot of hip hop we did. Like the first album was my album, and then we went into like, you know, more Great One Nation and Shrooms and Eclectic Zoo and Fracture, and we're gonna say something about all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that was it all just built up naturally. We all came together. I think God brought us together, you know. Probably,
man. There's no way. Like, I mean, you like I said, you always meet like the best people in like the shittiest places. So that was like.
Yeah, because that job sucked.
Yeah, it's like, and it was during the recession too. But like, if you had a job back then you had something. You had a job. So yeah.
2008, it was the recession.
Yeah, it was 2008. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we all started working together. I was hanging out with you before Master Clown Shrooms, or Jason.
Yeah, because we would get into some trouble after work sometimes, and you know.
But
before we got our lives straightened out more, so yeah.
People don't know Jason in Master Clown Shrooms is his stage name, but you know, he was a major part of our camp. But it all started with Mouty Mao right here, because you know, he was the first album that we jumped on.
Yeah.
You know, it all started with you, with the music, actually.
And especially Jesse too, because like he was like the mastermind. Like, he made all his beats, and he was like, "Hey, I made you some beats, go do it," you know. So, yeah, let's go in the studio, and then.
Yeah, and I don't think Jason or I'll call him Shrooms for this, but
but wait a minute, you used to be called Shrooms, so what's up with that?
Yeah, you know, I sold him the name for 2 cheeseburgers, if I remember correctly.
And where were the cheeseburgers? Was it Carl's Jr. or what's up?
I'm embarrassed. It was McDonald's.
McDonald's, okay.
But
he sold the rap name for 2
cheeseburgers, you know?
Did that come from like from the movie? Like, "Hey man, I got these cheeseburgers."
Right.
Did it come from that or what?
Nah, I just but that is a trip. I was Shrooms in the beginning. I think on the album I was Shrooms. And he was nameless.
Yeah, so it was a Redheaded Stepchild album, Mr. Tyler's Neighborhood, and he was Shrooms. If you look on the back of the CD, and he was nameless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then Yeah, the way everything came together at John's Market, um, it was a beautiful.
But what about
beautiful thing? I feel like.
What about Conda though? Like he
Conda,
was like one of your main
Going back to the music, like the way I got into it, yeah, Conda, man, big influence. He's my big brother. I see him like that.
Yeah, he's been like a mentor to you, like before like we met. So
since I was like 16, and I was in the studio with him, and he was doing production and rapping, and that's where I fell in love with, you know, that's where I fell in love with it, you know. And he always pushed me to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
And the circle of friends he was with, Pharaoh,
yeah,
or Adapt, the same people, and Drastic. You know, I started. They were rapping before me, before I even got into the business. But I was like, hey, let me sell some tickets for you. Let me help you guys, whatever I could do. You know, I want to get in this thing, and I was selling tickets for them, and that kind of worked out, and it kind of grew from there. We ended up starting a LLC called Great One Nation, GR818TION, Great One Nation.
Yeah.
The Eclectic Zoo,
Uh-huh.
Great One Nation Eclectic Zoo, and you know,
And that was with Harry and Rich, right?
Harry and Richard.
That came later though, right?
Well, they were the two co-owners. In the beginning, it started. I was doing warehouse parties, and it started, like I said, with this man right here, Mouty Mal, his albums. But I started just doing warehouse parties and stuff, those type of events. That was before the LLC formed.
Because I think your first show was actually my show, right? With the Cadillac Ron. Was that the first real show where we had to kind of like bring a crowd out?
The first, yeah, it was.
Was it that or like, yeah?
The first show, I didn't put it together, but the first show, I think one of them, the first shows that I did was that, yeah, that I performed at.
Yeah, because I think even before that, I don't know if you remember, but it was a warehouse Mr. Tyler show, like with a bunch of punk bands or some hardcore band or something. And then I met them with Jesus at some kind of in Bull Heights at a show, and they said we're gonna have like stand up comedy and whatever, and then
right.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, like the Cadillac Ron show came after that, and then
yeah there were some crazy times with that.
Yeah, that show was fucking crazy. So,
yeah, no, but I started throwing my own events. You know, you remember the warehouses, and then it went on to
making flyers and clubs, making tickets and stuff, and yeah, like Club Aura and Liquid Zoo and Studio City.
Mm-hmm. Club Aura called me, and I was going to Valley College taking music business. I still don't know how they got my number, but they were like, "Hey, we got a cancellation. Can you put something together?" And it was literally like 3 days. I remember I think you helped me do the door, getting tickets for a while or something.
Yeah, that was like one of your first big shows, because that was like an all day kind of like.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it was a show that lasted like hours, and it was like a short notice kind of thing too, you know. So.
Yeah, that was like very hectic. I don't know how they got my number still, but we made it work. We made a profit, and it actually.
Yeah, and like, people were like shouting out your name throughout the show. They're like, "Hey, shout out to Gabriel McCoy for putting it together." You know, I mean, it was like you would hear that throughout the night too. So.
It worked out, yeah. Staxx Gooder, because I remember I was hosting that show, and I was like I was wearing many hats that night, but it worked out.
It's like multitasking that one. And I think Bicky Mac was there too, or off from the iPlays. Like.
I wouldn't be surprised if he,
Yeah, they played that. It was a Studio City. It was Just the Facts, and then June 6th, and me and Shrooms. I think Sin and Fresh.
Yeah.
So Harry and
Pharaoh was there.
Yeah.
I think Drastic got a flat tire that night, like he always does.
Yeah.
He always be not showing up to a show and then showing up, but like he pre-planned getting a flat tire. Nah, but,
whenever sometimes you got obstacles sometimes. So.
But he was a good artist, very talented.
Yeah, we had a lot of talent, so I think your Great One Nation was like you wanted to showcase the talent of the Valley. That was one of the objectives, right?
Well, I'm from the Valley, North Hollywood, so I wanted to represent that, but I always wanted it to expand. We had Bricks, he's from Watts, And this all came a little bit later. I might be jumping the gun, but we had Trini B. That came later. Yeah, but she came from Oakland.
She was from Oakland. Okay.
Yeah. But definitely that's what it was, representing.
But the Valley. The roots were like the San Fernando Valley,
the 818, that part of Los Angeles. But we were deep. We were deep. Yeah. We were like 24 people, I think, or maybe more. some of those whiskey shows, two party
Yeah,
buses
yeah. I remember
to
like
get everyone there.
yeah. So what he's talking about is like we played at the whiskey and we had like two limousines or something, or to like who's the guy from he was a limo driver. It was
Stan was a good
yeah,
friend of mine
yeah.
since I was like 13.
Yeah, we all rode up, and then we were all on stage together and photo shoots and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot that night or that morning, and then we did the show in the evening with everybody.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember all this stuff now. So we had like anything you can name, like music videos and photo shoots, and like a lot of legit, like for what that skill was for.
Yeah, when we did a lot of music videos. You know, I mean, I'm only in two of them because I was doing more of the business side, even though I do love making music and rapping. But as far as our artists, we got a lot of videos, and they're still out there. You know, you can check them out.
One I remember that I'm on there with you is the Shrooms video, it was a Zubars video. That was with everybody. It was Drastic and
me,
and
Drastic,
Conda and
Conda and Shrooms on that one. And
so it's when you went to the Circus Liquor store in the beginning, like the intro to the video, and you go into Circus Liquor in North Hollywood. And
there was Zoo Bars. And then I exit the Liquor Bank on Crenshaw, I think, which was featured in Baby Boy and a bunch of other movies. So I'm going in one liquor store that's famous because the...
Oh, wait a minute. The next shot is you in a different liquor store.
Yeah, the Circus Liquor in North Hollywood, which was in the movies as well, and Snoop Dogg video. And then I'm exiting a different liquor store, the Liquor Bank in L.A.
Okay, I didn't know that, man. So that's why I like doing these podcasts. I get to learn as I go too, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And then that video is called Zoo Bars. And then the other video that I'm in is called We Off That, and that's featuring Bricks. From Watts.
When that was your Trini B video.
Trini B,
you were in one of those, right?
That song. Well, Trini B's on that song, so she's in that video. Keys is on that video.
Yeah.
Keys is another artist that was with us. I went to high school with them, and me. That song is called "We Off That." That's me, Trini B, Keys, and Bricks, and that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
We Off That.
The
Eclectic Zoo.
You still stay in touch with everybody. Like you're pretty good at like keeping up with everybody. You're like a social kind of person.
I try to keep in touch because we were like a family, you know. Yeah. I talked to Briggs, and you know, we were a family. That's what I loved about our unit is it wasn't just, you know, it was actually like a family unit. You know, if we did one thing, we all did it. We all rolled together. So even with Fracture.
Yeah, so let's talk about like we had a band in the whole group too, and you had one band, and that was Fracture. So my last episode with the guest was John from Fracture, and he said, "Yeah, we were the only band on the thing." So you want to say something about that, like how it was different, or how it worked, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's why we were the Eclectic Zoo, because it wasn't just hip hop. We had the metal, and like I said, we rolled as a family, as a group. So we would go to the metal shows and vice versa. They would come out to the hip hop events, and
you kind of flip it like Rick Rubin or something. He would play.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, go into that, and
I know John and Waylon love hip hop too. So
yeah, they were always like more West Coast than me, man. It's just I ended up back here, and then they came a year later, and
that's how we met Binky Mac from West Side Connection. He was
from them. So
Binky Mac is the producer for West Side Connection, All From the Eye, Mac 10. He produced for Ice Cube, a lot of people, you know, Dub C.
Yeah, he's like a mastermind behind the whole recording engineering and the artistry and everything.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does.
Versatile, you know.
He's still doing it, mixing and mastering, and he's still doing it. So I spoke to him a couple weeks ago, actually. So
that's good. So. I wanted to touch base into like how you got interested into like the music business side, not just to be a rapper. Like how did you get into wanting to pursue the music business?
I just wanted to create something, and not just as a rapper, but I wanted to create like an entity in the game that was different, you know. So I figured I had to take the route of learning the business. That's why I took music business at Valley College. And that is my passion. I mean, I love the music, but I like how the inner workings are orchestrated, and there's a lot of shady stuff going in there. And I've seen some crazy things and met people, but I was always interested in the inner workings of the industry. So that's why I decided to do that and put the artist first before me.
But I like how you kind of like went into it like, hands-on experience rather than, not just talk and dream about it. Like you just started out at like, you got to start at the bottom. But I mean, you started out like, promoting and the underground shows, like you mentioned, the warehouse shows. And then if you want to talk about like some of the bigger artists you work with, like KRS-One or something like that.
Right. Yeah, we were KRS-One, definitely the teacher, KRS-One. We did a real good event with him back in 2013 in January. It was a hip-hop culture event. We had all the elements, the break dancing, the MCing, the graffiti art, the beatboxing, the DJing, everything.
Yeah, it was all the pillars of hip-hop right there.
Exactly, the pillars of hip-hop. And it was more that. I think KRS did like 2 songs, and then it was like all the other elements.
Yeah, he was like speaking though. That was like and then spoken word kind of show.
He gave a teaching too, and then I had other people perform. But that was definitely one of my favorite events because it showcased what hip hop really is and not all that nonsense that's going on in it.
Yeah, because when I met you, like hip hop was like on the decline. I mean, it was like 2008, 2010, like that era, and then we would always just like talk about how frustrated we were, like how hip hop was going into like this whole like auto-tune kind of materialistic thing, and it was rare that you would even hear anything real. So so I was just impressed by how like we were just into the real raw hip hop and everything.
Yeah, I felt like we were like a modern day Wu-Tang almost, the way we were. So
yeah, we were like with the way we came out, and then you had like the Mouty Mao, and then I brought that kind of like realness to it too. And then you had
all types of flavor in it, from like the underground to even we had that swag rap. We had everything. It wasn't. Yeah,
like Steve, he would go into this and that. Yeah, he was like a mastermind.
Since we met, and then hip hop is still, what sucks to me right now is we got the most people listening to hip hop music right now than there's ever been listening to it. But they're listening to it at a time that hip-hop is, I think it's at its most ignorant and stupid point that it's ever been at. And we have the most people listening to it, which is sad, But
so it's good to know, but at the same time, it's like, it's going like, you listen, the listeners are in the wrong direction.
Like,
is that what you mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, what's showcased mainstream is garbage. I mean, it might be catchy, and I might even nod my head to it, but it's there's no substance, there's no content. You're not learning anything from it,
Yeah, you're not getting the realness,
not
the vibe. Yeah,
not what it was meant to be. In KRS, he taught me a lot. He came to our apartment. I was living with Shrooms at the time.
He came to like North Hollywood, right? Like to
He stayed for like 2 or 3 hours, and we were just chopping it up on the couch during that time. And we did. I don't know if Boo Capone, if you guys are familiar too. It's another one that we worked with. And he's from Who Bangin' Records, the West Side Connection. I'm on his album. The song is called Ape-ish, Ape, S-H-I-T, if you Google it.
Yeah.
But it's an older song. But we did his album. Moth produced it, who was one of my co-owners.
Yeah, so Moth means like Man of the Hour Productions. So.
And so just to recap, he was also a co-owner, and then Harry was a co-owner. He was also our videographer. Harry.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did our music videos.
He did you had somebody else doing the editing. There's like Cali Dreams, if you want to give him a shout out.
Oh, definitely, man. The Cali Dreams is my boy. He's doing Christian music, hip hop now.
Oh, okay.
Which a lot of people might not know, but I've been saved since 2019, early 2019.
Yeah.
And me and him have connected on that level lately a lot. But Cali Dreams, definitely, man. Shout out to him.
And speaking of that, did you want to like give a shout out to Mr. King, or kind of want to put that into your story right there about how I mean, I know he had like a lot of ups and downs. So at one point you were like, he was like one of your mentors as far as business and putting you in the direction of your spiritual path and everything.
Yeah, definitely Mr. King, or King Sean, Mr. King, Sean Dillard. Shout out to him because I am grateful for him. I was under his wing for a while. He was teaching me. He was actually one of the bigger selling Christian hip hop artists in the 90s. In 1994, it was King Sean and the SS Mob. And you can still check them out on Google. The SS Mob stood for the Soul Saving Mob.
Okay, thanks for saying some of this stuff, because then that other people can look it up on YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, King Sean, the SS Mob. He has a song with Nate Dogg actually too.
Oh, for real.
But I worked with him. And he's a music mogul. A music mogul. He's doing his thing. He works with he works in the secular world, but he's definitely he's a Christian man. So I think we need more of that. You know, if you're coming at it from that perspective, like I am in the industry. But he did help me get my life straightened out in a sense. You know, he introduced me to the church when I was going through a rough time. He actually introduced me to a Victory Outreach, and shout out to Victory Outreach is a wonderful ministry. You know, they go out and we it's Treasures Out of Darkness, and it was built on Treasures Out of Darkness, and those are people that come from a lifestyle of, some of them are gang members, drug addicts, you know, and they've been saved, and now they're doing the same thing to help other people, and that's what the Victory Outreach Ministry is. And King Sean Dillard, Mr. King, was
it's Sean Dillard.
That.
Okay,
that's his name.
Okay,
but he was part of that. He was in the men's home in 1994, and he introduced me to Victory Outreach.
so he probably had like a rough time, and then he got saved with them, or is that a?
From my understanding, yes.
But he has a background with that group, right?
Yeah, Victory VO. That's he was talking about that before I even knew what it was.
Yeah. But that's good. He pointed you to like the right direction.
Yeah, and at a time that I needed it, because at that time,
especially
I was going through some things. I was battling my own demons, and he pointed me to. I went into the men's home. I graduated the men's home of Victory Outreach, and I just want everyone to know that's listening that if you are struggling with anything from drug addiction to gang violence to whatever it may be, if you're a youngster and you know you're living your family, you just feel if you need help, Victory Outreach got you. They got men's and women's homes that are free that you could go to, get your life straightened out, and you'll come out there solid, and it's free. And the church is a family church.
Thanks for the shout out, man. Because some people like they might need to hear some. Like some people don't have like the last. Sometimes it's the last resort, the last thing.
And,
you know,
it's a family church, so you can bring your kids there. They got the youth, third wave, the youth programs, and they got the kids gang for the youngsters. So it's a whole family church. And then if people that need a place to stay, that want to get their life on track, you go to the men's home. It's a year commitment and get your life together, you know. So I definitely want to make sure everyone listening knows about Victory Outreach.
But it's not a flop house, so is it?
No, not at all.
This is not a flop house.
No, it's not at all. It's part of.
You got to go in there and work hard, right?
Oh yeah. You go in there, you learn how to get a hold of God in there. You learn how to pray. And some people come from gangbanging lifestyles. They never worked a day in their life except selling dope. But you'll learn how to work in there. You know, you'll learn how to hold a job down.
Yeah.
So
what about you? When you went in, did they get you to do a lot of things that were like initially pretty uncomfortable for you to do, and you had to just kind of adapt to it?
I mean, it was uncomfortable for the fact. Since we're on the topic, I'm just gonna be straightforward. I was on drugs. Yeah. And I went in there to get clean. So, you know, I didn't have a phone for a year. You don't have a cell phone in there. So I wasn't in contact. I mean, I saw my son and my every week. And then
So it was rare that we would even see you for quite a while.
Shrooms came. Yeah. Jason came to the church once with his mom, which I'm very surprised. But he came and visited me at the church, which that's not his thing at all. But
yeah.
He did
and I didn't even come to that, but I remember I came to pick you up when it was time for you to be free,
and I stayed with Malcolm for a little while. He was a blessing in my life and opened his door to me.
Because that was like 2020, and it was
during COVID. That was a crazy time.
Like we had opportunity to help out, So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm grateful, Malcolm. Thank you.
You're welcome. 2020 was hard for everybody, so hey, sometimes it's about making sacrifices,
But but I wanted to say it's funny how everything works together, because I believe God used the music, and introduced me to Mr. King, and through that I got introduced to the church, and that's how I got saved. And everyone, we might have different spiritual paths, everyone, but God used that.
So I think it's interesting, like at the time you went to the church, like at the same time almost as when I found Buddhism. So like we both went into the spiritual path, but like two different paths. Right. So yeah, but it's similar to like we both kind of related to coming from hip hop, and both went into that as a next step in our lives. But it was I forgot what I was gonna say. It was yes, two different directions, two different paths, but at the same time, this was saved our lives, because I was at a point where I was about to flip out, man. Like, I mean, people don't know me. I had like anger problems, and I was really just anxiety and stressed out. And if you let that build up, I mean, I could have taken that out on the wrong person or something,
Yeah. And that is an interesting point that we both found that at the same time, around the same time.
Yes, it's all timing, So.
Yeah.
Right now we're in this hood motel for a reason too. So.
Yeah.
So this place is like
it's a trip right now, but I like that. This is real life right here. We make things happen. You want to do something, we make it happen.
Yeah, for real.
And
I'm trying to think if we leave anything out. Like,
I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like
we're leaving out, but there's so much has happened throughout the years.
Actually, like right about now, like let's share a few stories of some interesting shows, like some of the highlights of. I mean, you mentioned KRS-One, but how about that first show with Cadillac Ron? Like somebody pulled out a knife, like maybe
oh yeah.
You want to talk about
that was.
I mean, yeah. If I could go back in time, I would have jumped off going back and got his back. But yeah,
a couple things. Yeah, well, one of our producers was really drunk, and he was talking crap on stage, and someone. Well,
like everybody in the crowd, like at that night. I mean, because what we were doing was so different, and it was about like killing people and this and that, and they were like, "Man, fuck, we don't like this. Like, fuck this or whatever." That was Mr. Tyler's thing. That was the crowd reaction. It was Mr. Tyler's Neighborhood. It was.
I was rolling with you on that one.
But I mean, I couldn't hear like the crowd, but Jesse was in the crowd, and he just jumped up on stage, and then that was pretty much like the last track. And he was like, "Fuck your underground scene," right? And then Cadillac Ron like ripped him off stage, and Cadillac Ron, he ended up dying, by the way, of heroin overdose. And
after he was threatening us.
Yeah, he threatened to kill us. He threatened he was gonna like beat my ass, and then somebody like got cut outside or something, or
well, I just remember we were all on stage. We were doing the show, rapping, and Pharaoh was up there. We were all up there, and then next thing I see is Jason was up there too, and someone just snatched Jesse off the stage, and the hallway was so crowded with people, but I couldn't get out there in time.
That too. It was like all packed, and you couldn't just jump and go out there, but yeah.
I know Steve is his name, but Pharaoh, he got cut. I don't think it was like anything too crazy, but he did get cut in that altercation, and we were trying to get out to help.
And then I took him home to his wife, and then
he
didn't remember the next day. He's like, dude, what the fuck happened like last night?
But yeah, I mean,
but anyway, he's a genius, man. But at the same time, with being a genius comes like that kind of.
It's the alcohol, man.
Well, that too, man. But I mean, he's ahead of his time, man. That's what I want to say. He's ahead of his time, and people they're not going to get it. Maybe in 20 years they'll get what I was talking about with Mr. Tyler's Neighborhood, and later on I'll learn more of like a profound reason why I was thinking like that, and
his production,
like an underlying kind of thing. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, when beat he even used the damn Ouija board for like the whole song to like guide him what notes to use.
Did
what
he
notes.
do that? I didn't even know that.
He told me like later. I didn't know that till later. He said this is the note, this minor note, this and that,
Wow.
and something about like modulating some stuff you never even think of. Like,
wow, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know about that now.
Yeah.
Back then, I probably would have been like, oh, that's dope. But now I'm like, But yeah.
But what about your solo stuff? It was like some kind of album in the works. It's called some Special Sauce by Staxx Gouda. Special Sauce.
There was gonna be an album. Well, I know we're jumping around a lot. I was thinking of another show real quick. I want to mention. Remember the one,
go for it.
The Fracture show at Weber's, and Binky Mac was there, and then a gang out here in the valley.
We were there. I was there, but I left early.
Yeah,
okay.
That was I think it was White Boys with Attitude performing at the time.
Yeah.
That was a group that Binky Mac had kind of put together with Waylon and John.
And Jesse and Triple C.
That was before Fracture. And anyway, I had my 818 shirt on, and a local gang, they were tripping on us, and
what was the name of the local gang? It doesn't matter?
It doesn't really matter. But
I remember the story was like somebody said, White Boys with Attitude, y'all got to go. Somebody said, White Boys with Attitude, y'all got to go. Somebody said that.
Yeah, they said that, but they were like, but y'all could come back. Because
that makes no sense.
No, because we did good. We made them money that night, you know.
The place was packed. We were there. Like, this is 2009. It was.
Yeah, I think that was Binky Mac had left before that the fight.
But where was that? Like, that was in Tarzana or Reseda or something.
It was in Reseda at Weber's, yeah. But that was a crazy night, and we were strapped. That little do people know, but you know, we never had to like do any of that, use any of that type of force. But
so there was a fight kind of broke out, or some kind of altercation thing, or
there's been that night. Yeah, that was a crazy one, and I ended up getting home at 3 a.m. the next day. I think I went with William. That night to L.A., and it was just a whole crazy thing.
That's a long night.
Now I'm remembering a lot of stuff did happen, and in that atmosphere, you know, Conda, I remember one time he got hit with brass knuckles, and all of a sudden we're in Hollywood at the show.
That's horrible. What show is that? He has
a bloody face. I'm like, what happened? And
that was Hollywood, or
that was in Hollywood.
That's horrible.
I'm remembering these things now as we're talking about it, but you know, it's that scene is crazy, but it's also fun. Like, I've run into Nipsey Hussle. He was at one of our events. I don't think
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was at the Whiskey at one of our events, and it was when we were performing. I don't think he stayed.
Oh, no, yeah, you did mention that, yeah.
The whole time, but we did run into him there. Corrupt, I ran into him at the Whiskey too. We run at Club Loaded in Hollywood at Fracture shows. One of the dudes from Breaking Bad was there.
Okay, I'm going to tell that story real quick. We were watching this fight, and it was with the song like Fucking Hostile by Pantera was playing, and then like right after that song played, there was a fight that lasted a good 6 minutes or something. And then like me and Waylon and John were just standing there just watching the fight. We didn't even try to break it. It was like just watching. And then here comes the son from Breaking Bad wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Comes out of the front entrance drunk, and like right in front of me and Waylon and them, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then he gets into a limo. Yeah. And then I didn't know who he was, and then Waylon's like, "That's the guy from Breaking Bad."
He came in, and he came into our circle and started talking to us like he was our friend. Like, he literally did, and I think his people came and walk him away to his limo. But just that whole atmosphere, the things like that would happen, you know. Just,
some random thing could just happen,
and it was fun, you know. It was a fun period.
Yeah, because back then we were just doing shows all the time.
You know,
and consistently in LA, and then
the events were making money. You know, I was making money when I was doing my own events,
like at the warehouse kind of, or was it more of the
warehouse,
the independent stuff, and
booking the other artists.
But didn't you have something going on with Steve? Like you would call Steve the next day and talk about like, okay, we did good right here, and next time we're not gonna make this mistake, and like pros and cons, like
Yeah, like the first 3 or 4 events, we worked together on them, and then after that, I was kind of doing them solo. I was putting them together, and then everyone had a different role, so we all.
But I think it's good to do that because then you see like what you made a mistake on. So that actually makes me it reminds me of that show at the Terrace in Pasadena, and we had to wait a good 5 hours just to perform.
Yeah, that was.
And then I remember you saying like, let's not tell everybody at work that the show sucked, that we had to wait this long. Like, don't tell them that, but like say that we played and we, but I think we played like, it was like a kind of Forbidden Styles or.
That was a Forbidden Styles.
It was something like that. And then I remember.
Some of it's on YouTube.
Yeah, you would meet cool people at the show sometimes because they would come up and be like, hey, I know y'all were trying to bring back like the real hip hop, but we just trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? It's like you would meet people that say that, but I think like people, they pick up on like any kind of authentic kind of realness, and you can see through the bullshit with music, and that happens a lot, man.
Definitely.
Like especially the listeners and fans of music. I mean, they can pick up on the bullshit like right away. You can tell what's gonna last and what's gonna.
Money Mike, yeah, definitely.
Okay, what about Money Mike?
Man, he's just a.
How do you even know that guy? Like,
I mean, I'm not even gonna. I don't want to talk bad about nobody, but.
No, I mean like, but
He was an acquaintance of mine. He was a friend of mine at a time, and.
No, I remember one time he played the show, and then like Jesse said, like I went on right after him, and he said, dude, the whole vibe just changed, like. All that Money Mike bullshit just changed when you went on stage. Man.
Yeah,
like,
people just clown him a lot, and like you said.
He said, dude, it turned into a Wu-Tang show, man. You don't even know, man. It's like,
yeah,
but that's cool. But I mean,
like you said, people could recognize authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity.
If it's someone's faking it or not, and people would clown on him, but yeah, there's a lot of characters in the mix. That dude, I don't know if you remember Oz Murillo. I've worked with.
No, who's that?
Jason brought him on. Shrooms wanted to work with him, and he was begging me to like.
Was he a rapper or? Like,
he was a rapper.
So
if you look up when we did the show in Vegas and we documented it, he's in that documentary. It's on YouTube. Me and Jason.
So how can people find some of the YouTube stuff? Is it like Great One Nation or Eclectic Zoo?
That's the thing.
Forgot.
Like we
really, Valley Boy was on there.
Yeah, Valley Boy Entertainment was in the beginning. We really it was doing so well in the beginning, but I take fault that it's.
No, I mean I take fault. I was about to take fault real quick because remember when I quit rapping, I wasn't like 100% into it as I was, and then I remember like when I quit, stuff kind of changed around.
Yeah, it was doing well, and I think we should have never stopped, to be honest. But
we were always doing something though. Like right now, I'm doing this. Like,
yeah,
but I mean,
that's the thing. Our circle has always been creative, and we're always working on something. You got Jason still doing the, just
doing the movies. So like last week we went to a film screening of like, what was it called?
Yeah, shut up.
We were trying to do a podcast, episode 9 up in here. So what was the name of that movie the other night? It was like somebody Matteo knows from Italy or something. I think I already gave
the Enzo.
Yeah.
He's an Italian a producer, I believe.
Yeah.
For films. And
actually,
the movies suck, but that's the whole point.
No, it was just fun to see everybody. So.
Oh, that was a good event. Yeah, Jason has. They all have their YouTube thing. So, like you said, we're all still doing things.
So right about now, I want to say something about Forbidden Styles. If you want to talk about that for a little bit, we were in a rap group called Forbidden Styles, and you made up the name.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And you did.
I think, yeah, I
and
did.
We're going to make it like a solid like EP, which never happened into fruition. But,
that never happened. Extra Sauce never happened, which was going to be my album.
But shout out to Tony Gautama. It's like another badass engineer. Yeah. The guy's real detailed, and I mean,
I talked to him still.
Yeah. You're gonna get like real good quality from him. What's it called? Like Core of the Earth recordings.
Yeah, if anyone
really cool guy. Yeah.
If anyone needs any good engineers, any good producers, recording engineers, any of that, holler at Malcolm, holler at me. Leave a comment, and we can introduce you to some people. solid people.
Yeah, because we on YouTube,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Chronicles.
Right. But I mean, these people are solid. Like, they'll do you.
Yeah,
good.
he worked with like.
It's gonna sound good. I'm not just gonna send you to anybody.
I mean, he worked with some kind of. I forgot the name of the studio, but he said Busta Rhymes came in. I mean,
Yeah.
this and that. You know, just.
I mean, we still got Binky Mac. You know, he just called me the other day. So
Yeah.
we're still.
I want to have him on there too, but yeah. And then
Squeak Roo. I always say the Merry Christmas to them. You know.
actually, I wanted to say something. You're on my web series, Grocery Gangsters, and you had some fans. Little did you know, but like 5 people came up to me and they asked me. They were like, "Who's that guy?" Like, I like the voice of who's the guy when on the episode, man. Remember episode 6, and you were on there with Mike, and then
right.
And they're like, it's like, hey, I'm trying to save up for a car so I can go to work. And he was like, who is that? Like, because I told one person about the web series, and then that night, like 10 potheads were like watching the YouTube, the show, from Vaughn's or something.
Right. What, they liked my voice? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, no, they liked it. It was they could relate to it because they worked at the supermarket. You know.
Right, right.
What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, that's a Grocery Gangsters. That was funny.
Yeah. So what are you working on currently? Like, what's going on? Like, do you have in mind, or you have anything going on right now?
Well, right now, you know, I'm on my spiritual walk, and I'm really trying to get more. I'm still just want to get a hold of God, and I want to do what God wants me to do, and that's really, you know, where I'm at right now. I did make a song, a hip hop song that's Christian based, and I actually performed it at Victory Outreach Boyle Heights, and
It was in Boyle Heights. They have one over there.
Yeah, Boyle Heights and Victory Outreach Whittier. And just so you know, we're everywhere. Victory Outreach is in South Africa. My niece just got back from the Urban Training Center in South Africa. So Victory Outreach is everywhere. Panama, Mexico, you know, Amsterdam. But that's where I'm at right now. You know, I really want to get a hold of God even more. And music is always going to be a passion, and music is powerful. And, you know, I just want God to direct me, but I definitely want to work in music. You know, that's never going to go away. And I believe it's a powerful tool, you know, that can save lives, save souls, and save lives.
Yeah, sometimes like you can get some inspiration from music, even like when you least suspect it. Yeah, that's, you know, it could words are music is powerful, lyrics are powerful, you know. And I gotta holler at Dreams again, Cali Dreams, who you just mentioned, because you know he's still doing production and recording, and I got a dope hook right now. It's a Christian song, but it's a dope hook. So is it powerful?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, and I've heard good feedback, so I want to put that in the song. It's the song I wrote, but as far as the lyrics, I change everything, but I'm gonna keep the hook.
No, I think that's good to put that as your priority, because sometimes, I mean, to have your spiritual path before you even work on music. Because I mean, right now I'm even I put that as a priority sometimes too. So
yeah, I mean, I believe like
you have to have the balance.
That's the foundation.
Yeah.
That has to be the foundation. You know, especially if that's what we're doing. If that's, you know, you want to.
Because if you're that misguided, then you might go into a direction and be so focused, like self-centered on yourself, and like lose track of like your spiritual foundation.
Yeah, I don't want to be the way I used to be, and I don't want to be wavering anymore. You know, I want to be solid, and that comes with building that foundation, that spiritual foundation on a rock, not on sand. So, you know, that's to answer your question. That's where I'm at right now, but definitely something is gonna happen.
So you still got some concepts like the hook you mentioned, and you know. What about some artists you might be working with, though? Like, might want to collaborate with anybody, or yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last thing I did, which is, I mean, I just booked a couple Christian artists for Victory Outreach. 2 years ago, I think it was in 2022 for the toy drive and car show we had. So I had Cali Dreams perform, and I had June 6th, who you mentioned,
you did
perform. He's Christian, So I booked them too at that event. And shout out to Music and Strength, because that's where June 6th is from, and that was a big, hip hop thing out here.
Yeah.
Not
So
just in
so
the
what's
valley, but
what's Music and Strength for those that don't know? That's more of like a group, or was it more of
Music and Strength is.
It was kind of like the Eclectic Zoo. It was they come together.
It's hip hop, and this was the LA chapter out here that I was working with, that I was messing with, that brought me. They're like our second hip hop family. Shook's one, he started it. I think he's where is he, in Korea? I don't know where, Japan, but there's different chapters of Music and Strength.
I went to one shroom show and I met pretty much everybody that was legit with Music and Strength, and yeah.
Shout out to Casper. There's a lot of them. Weapon X.
Yeah, and then.
But yeah, like.
What about that guy AFS? AFS,
I
found my CD the other day.
That
And
was way back then, yeah.
Okay, we played a show in Northridge, and it was dope. And it was just people breakdancing and like the real DJs, some real talent and everything they were doing. And we see AFS. He was hosting the show. Another one's like, yo, shout out to Shrooms. And
he had that voice. He was, I think he's Puerto Rican, that very New York vibe.
He was cool to work with. You meet a lot of cool people to work with sometimes. And,
yeah, definitely. And
so what about just the facts?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him.
He was good though. So we were on a song with him, and it was.
He's on the English Major on your album.
Yeah, he was just on a real.
Oh yeah,
a real song. Yeah, and it was me and you and Jason and him, but it was different for me because we didn't record with him. We recorded with this same machine right here. But he emailed me the track, and I was like hesitant about this email thing, but it's still
it worked out.
It worked though, so yeah.
Yeah, I like that song.
And there's another guy, Black Heat.
Yeah.
And he used to work with him.
Yeah.
And I'm just naming random stuff right now.
That's Music and Strength people.
They are.
Yeah, that's family. It's just been so much that's happened. It's hard.
Yeah, I know. I apologize. We're skipping around like hell, but I mean, there was this we didn't really plan this episode out because of our schedules. So it's just a blessing that we could have this episode. I just want to say that. So,
yeah, no, it is. It really is, man. Just me and Malcolm. This man right here is like one of my best friends.
Thanks, man.
You and Jason, man. Matthew, Mateo, you guys. I love y'all.
Yeah, so we go back and we got help each other out like a family, So I kind of wanted to ask you about your background, are you from it? You're from the valley, right? What part of the valley did you want to talk about? Pacoima? Did you want to get a shout out to talk about your dad, or did you want to talk about the San Fernando Valley?
If you got questions, I'll answer any question you got. But I grew up in North Hollywood.
I know you went to North Hollywood High School down the street from where we worked, right? So yeah.
That's where I grew up, and that's where, I did a lot of stuff in North Hollywood.
Yeah, you gotta.
But
growing up's hard, So.
Yeah, but I am here from the valley.
Pacoima, you've been out here since. We're in Sylmar right now, so it's kind of next to Pacoima. 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've been living in Pacoima for years now, and know a lot of people out there, and try to just bring a positive vibe. I let everyone know about, because we got a Victory Outreach right here in Arleta too, on Beachy and Osborne.
Oh yeah, did you? I had a question about Victory Outreach. Didn't you used to approach people and kind of tell them about Victory Outreach, but did you used to go into the tents and straight up go into the tent with homeless people?
We go into tents
because people would be scared of just seeing a tent. Some people would be really afraid to what's going on. So you would go into the tent, So.
That's our ministry. We'll go into the tent cities. We're going into the gang neighborhoods. We're going into the projects, to the San Fernando Gardens. And we're talking to these people that, a lot of them get dismissed, the people in the tents, and some of them really do want help. Mm-hmm. And we're there to spread that word, to let them know that there is help out there. And,
Yeah, the way I see it is you should be able to go anywhere and not be afraid, because, I mean, if you really believe in what you believe in spiritually, then you're protected wherever you go. You don't need a gun. So that's where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah.
That's real. And
even though we both believe in different religions or whatever. I'm just saying like on a ground, what's the word, like on the foundation kind of thing. Like if you really believe in it, then why are you going to be afraid of like where
if
you have the peace inside of yourself, you know? So.
If you're doing God's work, you know, you're protected. God's going to protect you. You know, you got to use wisdom, of course. You know, you're not going to be foolish. You use wisdom, and that's why, you know, I learned in the men's home when we would go out and evangelize. I was gonna say evangelate.
Evangelate?
Yeah, what's evangelate?
So evangelize is what does that mean? Does it mean like kind of reach out to people, victory outreach?
When we go spread the word, but as far as us, like I just said, we go to the gang members, to the tent cities, to the drug addicts, to those people, and we would pray before we left to go do that, and then we'd pray when we got back. You know, use wisdom. And God's gonna protect you when you're doing His work.
So you were kind of like the leader at one point, right? To some, excuse me. Like you had you're kind of like a mentor to like 3 different guys up there, right?
Well, when I was in the
some of the new guys.
I was for like 7 months. I was what they call staff there.
Yeah.
So I actually did get a phone, but it wasn't my own phone. But normally you wouldn't have one. But I was a staff, so I would watch over the guys and kind of, like you said, mentor them and make sure they were doing what they were supposed to.
Kind of train them and show them the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we would go to job sites, and I would make sure. You know, job sites, different things. We do construction, many different things. I make sure that they stayed in. The staff's job was to make sure that they stayed in line. They were supposed to. No one was running off to go drink or something. Mm-hmm. And then we take care of the church, is the men's home and the women's home. They take care of the church, the cleaning, you know, a lot of all that business. Like it's the backbone of the church.
So it's like a little bit of everything, right? Yeah.
It's the homes. But yeah, that's what you mean. I was staff for about 7 months.
And where was Victory Outreach? It's in the valley, of course, but it was like in
my church. My home church is Victory Outreach, Van Nuys. Which is close to Victory and Van Nuys, Vesper and Victory by the 7-Eleven and Tommy's Burgers and 7-Eleven. That's where that church, Victory Outreach Van Nuys, is.
And you used to live like when I first met you. You lived on Sepulveda and closer to like where John lives, like, but it was Sepulveda and
Van Owen.
Sepulveda
and Van Owen. Is that when we met? Because I think we might have met when I was living right there off of Riverside in Valley Village, but
it could have been that, or it's one of those like the Colfax liquor store. I used to pick you up over there.
That's where I lived back when we.
But I think you were with your grandma. Your grandma on Sepulveda. I think you lived there, right? And then
well, we moved from Riverside to Sepulveda.
At one point, this man lived with he lived with Shrooms and his brother in Fulton. That's when KRS-One came over to teach. And at one point, he lived with like people trip out when I tell them this. Like we all worked at the grocery store, but then we would like live together too. So one time you lived with Mary and Chris at Fulton or something like.
Yeah, that was on Fulton as well.
Because it was like that when I worked at the Piggly Wiggly too. Like the manager would work with the stalker and
it all came from that John's Market, you know. And then I went on to work at Whole Foods later for about 7 years, and
that's a long time to work at that place at Whole Foods.
Yeah, I love Whole Foods. I really like it.
So they're good people to you at the end of the day, then, right? Like
to me, they are. Yeah, I mean, they sold the company to Amazon. I don't know how they are now, but they were, and I met a lot of cool people there too. And they would come out to the events, and we still talk to them.
Yeah, also, I saw them the other day too. Yeah,
it's all about networking. You know. Network is the name of the game, and even within the church, that's why I'm like, it's no stone unturned is how I looked at it when I was doing the music. It's all about networking, and now it's like when we're hitting the streets to talk to people that are struggling, it's like, I want to hit every corner. It's no stone unturned. It's network, talk to people, and like-minded people, we'll work with them, and people that need help, we'll offer them what we got. You know.
Yeah, so I can see you coming back in the music business, like the potential to use your skills and your social skills to come back. Like I believe in you, man. So
Appreciate
I could see that happen, but like right now, I mean, we're coming out after COVID hit, and nobody was doing music anyway. You got to think about that. Like I don't care if you're like Guns N' Roses or anything, you know what I mean? It's just, but there's always it's all timing, so it's gonna be a blessing to be able to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you as a performance artist and as a business mastermind at the same time too.
Yeah, no, I do believe something.
Just
is
like follow your dreams with that.
Yeah, like I said, I just want God to take the steering wheel this time because, you know, I tried to do it myself and it worked for a while, but it ended up, you know, I ended up self-sabotaging myself. Yeah. So I want God to take the steering wheel this time. And
then this man has a son too. He's 7 years old, or he's
8
he's
now.
8 now. Yeah.
He'll be 9 in October.
So that's the only kid I've ever seen when we actually went to the hospital to see the baby. Like that's the only time I got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool.
You were there, yeah. And that's what I say. We were a family because you were there. Jason was there.
Yeah,
Richard was there.
Jesse and
Harry,
yeah.
Jesse, like the eclectic zoo. Like
yeah,
they were there
fun,
when my son was born. So, you know.
It's all a blessing, you know. Like life's got its ups and downs, and we got to just keep the positive energy, you know.
Got to stay positive, man. You know, we got to help each other out. You know, it's all about spreading the love, and I would never have been speaking this way back in the day, but that's what it's about.
Back then, we were more angry, and we were like hungry and aggravated, and I mean, we all had like jobs making $8-9 an hour, and I mean,
yeah, we were
fill in the blanks, you know. It was
yeah, we were hustling. That's why, you know, we were hungry, like you said, and when we went to do the music thing, we hit it hard and we made some progress, you know, because we were hungry. But
yeah, I kind of look back just hearing some of these stories, and I wouldn't change it for anything, you know.
No, it was definitely, you know, that especially
kind
that Hollywood
retrospect,
LA,
you know.
Yeah, experience, like Jason coming from New Jersey, you coming from South Carolina. You know, I'm from LA, but you know, we all
we had
different backgrounds.
We had different factors, different flavors, and styles, and different influences too. We kind of like put those influences together and collaborated. So that was pretty cool. That was really cool. And shout out to Conrad too in Philly.
Yeah, shout out to Conrad, and I just want to like
any more shout outs before we go.
I just want to make sure like everybody that was in the camp, you know, I just want if they hear this, you know, I love you guys, ones that I don't talk to anymore, and you know, we were deep, drastic. You know, Trini B.
Yeah, it'd be good to see them. It'd be good to see them again.
Keys,
and
Bricks.
Reunite. Yeah.
I talked to Steve.
What about Dose?
Pharaoh Dose. I don't know where he is right now, man. I hope he's doing okay.
That's good. So Steve's doing pretty good. And
Steve's doing good. Yeah, he think he's in Atlanta. He said he was moving.
Hey, if he comes back out here, we gotta take him out to dinner or something, man. You know?
Definitely.
So,
you know, and John and Waylon, the whole fracture camp.
Yeah.
You know. Brandon, for sure, Brandon.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone we ever worked with, you know.
You know, Orden and Jordan.
Yeah.
You know,
Jesus.
Jesus is our boy from John's.
Yeah.
I was there this year for his birthday on Christmas.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, but yeah, man.
So I kind of want to conclude the episode. So. Hey, just once again, thanks so much for being. It's been a pleasure to have you on the episode and like share some of your story, being in LA and about the music, spiritual side, about like your background and what you're gonna do for the future. And I hope everybody found this interesting at the same time too. If you did, check out some of the music like he mentioned, and we're gonna look forward to some more work from him, from some positive energy in the future, collaborations and artist promotions, or some guest rapper appearances and stuff like that. And thanks for listening to this episode 9, Los Angeles Chronicles. And
Definitely.
Yeah,
been a
we're
blessing.
just gonna like conclude the episode right now. Then
I just want to say though, real quick, reach out to us. Like-minded. If reach out
yeah,
to
for
us.
real,
You
man.
can reach
Yeah.
out to me, Staxx Gouda, Gabriel McCoy. Hit me up, man. We can make something happen. It's all
Yeah,
about love.
it's
So
always all about like looking for the next opportunity or any kind of project if that you want to work with, and as far as is something that you can relate that you want to work with. That's what I'm trying to say is it has to be like something you want to do that you want to work with.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still down to network. So just letting you guys know that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an honor, man. Thank you, Malcolm.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.